Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Cheap Seats podcast. I am your host, Ryu, and with me, as always, is the co-founder, co-chief, co-COO, co-CEO, co-co, everything is all Shield. How you doing, man?
Hello, thank you. All my titles are there. They are on my birth certificate as well.
We just keep adding them. We'll add a title every week.
For
I'll come up
every
with a
wrestler
list.
that loses a name, I gain one.
I can't remember. That's like a curse from something. I can't remember what it is, but every time someone loses something, you gain a power. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, getting way off track. We are post Wrestlemania XL, the grandest stage of them all, the marquee pay-per-view or PLE of the year as far as the WWE wrestling calendar goes. So we are technically in a new calendar year for WWE programming. We will run through the card, give our thoughts on the matches. This is going to be a slightly longer episode, obviously, because WrestleMania is a massive event held over 2 nights with lots of content and everything that happened on both evenings. Just quickly about the Hall of Fame. Have you watched it?
I've seen some of it. I like. Obviously, you want to give recognition to the people that are in it.
Yeah.
But for me, I had work on, and it's something that I'm not too ashamed to admit that I just ignore most time.
That's fair
I'll
enough.
watch all of Mania, and I'll see who goes in. But to sit there for, I think it's about 2 hours, isn't it? The actual
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. I can't be dealing with that.
No. So the two. And I'm not ashamed to say it. The two entries into the Royal Rumble. Oh my God. Sorry. You do not want these people in the Royal Rumble. I'm telling you now. The two that I was most interested in seeing being entered into the Hall of Fame was the US Express and Paul Heyman. The US Express, for those of you who don't know who they are, is Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, two wrestlers that I know quite well from WCW, and also from WWF, as it was back then. IRS was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, pretty much self-titled until he became the Stalker in '96, which is probably WWF's lowest creative year in the '90s, really, because it pretty much sucked. But for those of you as well who know about Bray Wyatt, Mike Rotunda is actually Bray Wyatt's father. So they honoured Bray Wyatt because his brother, Bo Dallas, and his sister inducted their dad into the Hall of Fame, along with Barry Windham, their uncle, and they did speak a little bit about Bray as well, which was really nice. But Paul Heyman was inducted as well into the Hall of Fame, and his speech, as long as it was brilliant. He even had an ECW section of his induction speech. He was inducted by the tribal chief Roman Reigns, which I thought was a really nice touch, because it wouldn't have been Brock Lesnar, not at this point.
No, I thought the person that was going to induct him did turn up during WrestleMania weekend anyway, but I thought it was going to be the Dudleys maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah. They were there, but we'll get to what part they played in WrestleMania shortly. So anyway, congratulations to everyone that got inducted into the Hall of Fame. There were some great speeches there. Just another little side note that I remembered is Big E was back as a on-screen personality as the New Day inducted Thunderbolt Patterson, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
So moving on, we are going to go from night one, I suppose. We don't really need to do any pre-context because it's all out there and we'll probably talk about it. So WrestleMania night one, the set was actually pretty good, I thought. It wasn't too much, but it was enough. I really liked the big WrestleMania signage across the top, and big X and L letters either side of the stage, which I thought was really good. The color scheme was interesting. I know it was because I know Philadelphia's home NFL team wears the same color. I don't know if it's a state color, like if it's
I don't
something
know. It
that
might just be Liberty Bell colours as well, because that's a copper,
maybe.
it's green.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, I don't really know. I just know that the color scheme was interesting. I not the wasn't the biggest fan, I have to admit, but it was fine as a set. As WrestleMania sets have gone, it's probably one of the better ones they've had in recent years. Triple H opened the show by welcoming the WWE Universe to a new era of professional wrestling. It's now no longer sports entertainment. It is back to being professional wrestling, and I cannot be happier for that change. Because I know what that means. I know that I know what we're going to start getting. We're going to start getting wrestling again, and not just really bad actors. So Triple H welcomed everyone to the new event. And then we went straight into the first match, which was Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Yeah, great. As much as I like the man, Becky Lynch, I think in our predictions video, we both said who was going to win this.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
for me, I think I'm trying to cast my mind back now. I would probably say that this one here is probably the best entrance at Mania for Rhea Ripley. I think Motionless in White absolutely smashed it. They did their job.
Yes, they did.
I mean, I like rock and pop punk and all that sort of music, and to me, the thing that I like about it is most of them bands started off playing pubs, playing clubs to about 10, 15 people, but you always know that it's roughly what you hear on a CD is what they sound like live. Yeah. Like a lot of pop people these days, it's all auto-tune, it's all done in post-production. Some of them will sound absolutely horrible live, like everyone's seen the clip of Enrique Iglesias when his auto-tune failed, and he sounds horrific. And if the way you're looking, either suggest you haven't, or you have, and now I've just brought up bad memories.
No, I did, and yeah, it was. You don't want anyone to fail publicly. You don't, but that was just heartbreaking. If you were a fan, I wasn't, but it was just sort. You see it, and you're just like, oh no, he's been exposed, and then. He literally, he's in his head is just going shit.
Yeah. But Motionless in White absolutely smashed the theme song, which is theirs anyway. Yeah. They did it for Rhea.
They did.
They look like siblings. It's just a brother and sister welcoming each other to the ring, pretty much.
It was good.
And even the way he announced it, because I mean, we'll get onto it. And star of the weekend wasn't any performer; it was Samantha Irving. Let's just throw that out there.
Well, we'll come to that. we'll come to that. How good she was.
But in terms of actual announcement into the ring, I think Chris Motionless or Motion, I think that's his actual name, is Chris Motion, which is one of the best names ever, especially if you can have a band called Motionless in White. There, but the way he introduced Rhea as well was just fantastic.
Yeah, really took advantage of the heavy metal and metalcore sound that they use for her entrance music. Yeah, I thought it was a very good way to kick off the show with a live band performance. We should add that she came out second. Lynch came out first, and her entrance was pretty cool too. She's always got really good ring gear when it comes to most events. But I don't know what it was, which you can tell she's lost more weight than she had before. She's looking very, very slim, and I'm not trying to say anything like that negative. I'm just saying that it's to me it was apparent. But she's busy. She's got a kid. She's traveling. I'm just if she's not going to be doing too much, I want her to take it easy because she's done plenty so far.
Yeah,
as Becky Lynch. Yeah,
but it was a great opening match. I think it got the crowd going as well, and
great match.
Some big spots in the end.
Yeah, it was.
And the right person won. I think I don't know how long the reign's going to last, but the right person won for me. I think that Rhea Ripley should be the one that carries that all the way. I don't think she'll carry it till next Mania, but I do think that she should be going for quite a while yet.
I think once they build up Jade Cargill enough, then that'll be. I think that'll be where the title will change hands once Jade's got to that point of. I don't know what it is. Something about her still feels a little bit stunted. Like she's kind of just, she's got like, you know, when someone does a performance and they go through exactly the same motions, exactly the same character, like the same taunts and the same this, that, and the other. Like it kind of it. Yeah, I mean, I'll come to it a bit later as well, but. I noticed it a lot with a lot of the NXT people when I watched Stand and Deliver. They had very, very set, like their timing for their character stuff was all the same, and it never changed, it never deviated. They felt very, you know, it's so choreographed, like, you know, and it kind of felt a bit like that as well, but it was fine. So I think Jade Cargill will be the one to eventually take the title from Rhea Ripley. But long may the reign continue. It was a great match. Two Riptides, two consecutive Riptides to retain the title, we might add. So that keeps Becky Lynch still looking very strong, as considering that mostly it's one Riptide that finishes a match, but she had to use two here. So then we had the absolutely chaotic, insane ladder match, which was six tag teams vying for one set or both of the tag team titles. I'll just quickly run through the participants, and then if you want to give your thoughts. So we had the Judgment Day, which is obviously Finn Balor and Damian Priest. We then had DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. The recently named A-Town Down Under, which is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. So how did you feel about that match?
I thought this match was very good. The only thing that confused me a little bit about this match, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, was the pacing was a bit weird. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like you had A-Town Down Under just win the SmackDown belts within the first sort of like almost, it felt like 5 minutes. Yeah. They just like straight up got them belts. Okay, that's great. And then the match carried on for an extra like 20 odd to get the Raw belt. It was weird pacing. There was a few good moments. Obviously, my boys in DIY repping the DX gear.
I know, yeah. I was just gonna say they came out to the DX music. Well, not music, but like, you know, the. Okay, so anyone that didn't watch wrestling in the late 90s, if you didn't see sorry to cut you off, in the original like D-Generation X entrances, they would superimpose the words like the letters DX and then the sort of weird like sound graph thing they have. Yeah. They would superimpose it onto the screen as Shawn Michaels and Triple H were coming down to the ring. While the music played, and then they would like splice it with other shots of them like doing DX stuff, and they did that really, really well with DIY coming out with the green jackets with DIY sprinted on the back like DX. And
Johnny Gargano had the cowboy
hat. I fucking loved that made me so happy. Unbelievable.
Because they both DIY of both members, obviously they had the great rivalry in NXT against each other, but as a team they've always sort of gone back to that era of wrestling. They both are openly admitting like they're their favorite wrestlers and stuff like that, and now the fact they get to not mimic them, that's not the right word, but you know, they can represent them because like Johnny Gargano always came out, like we've seen, you said yourself, like his Iron Man ring gear, he always comes out cosplaying as someone. Yes. And the fact that on their first WrestleMania he comes out as Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, Yeah, that was fantastic.
But there was some great spots, some nervy spots. Jessica Carr turned heel, the first heel referee, when she just grabbed Damian Priest from grabbing the belt,
yeah,
the belts.
she just grabbed him straight up, just pulled his leg. Even he was like,
we
"What
all
the
know
fuck?"
why. we know why, because Damian
Yes.
Priest obviously didn't see it, but
Yes.
Jessica Carr did. The ladder was completely knackered.
Oh my
Like
god!
at any
yeah.
point, that ladder could have just buckled, and I think she was trying to warn him that the ladder was broken.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously, the camera angle was, if the camera angle was zoomed in, and you couldn't see her tap like Damien's legs, that would have been fine. But it was a wide angle to show that there was no one around, and you just see the referee just jump in the ring and just grab his leg, just grab him off the ladder.
I did, yeah, I did laugh. I went, oh shit! Like, no, what's going on? Because something was obviously wrong, and they can't. The thing is, it did not take away from the match. It obviously highlighted there was something happening. And speaking of cock-ups, I just remembered New Catch Republic came out to the wrong Titantron and the wrong music.
Yeah,
and it took ages. It was so awkward. It was ages before they put their music on.
Yeah,
they were just standing there like, "What do we do?"
Well, I think the music was right. It was just the background, wasn't it? Or was the music?
No, you're right.
It said "Awesome Truth." It said "Awesome Truth." But
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it said "New Catch Republic."
But, yeah, the music. Yeah, the music was right, but the fucking Titantron was right.
Michael Cole was like, "Well, that's not the Awesome Truth."
Yeah, Michael. I love the fact that he's at the point in his career where he can say fucking anything. He just calls out the shit, and he's like, "Well, someone's fucked up," like without saying it. It's like, "Well, that's not Awesome Truth." Yeah, that's funny. Someone in the back must have got the wrong.
That ladder that Damian Priest was climbing, though, there was a spot, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was actually the Miz, because Damian Priest goes up to grab the belt, and the Miz just runs full pelt and just starts climbing that ladder. But the camera's already zoomed in where you see the leg is just buckled completely and snapped.
Yeah, it's completely out. Yeah,
and you see that ladder shake as Miz just sprints up at full pelt. Yeah, and the Miz mustn't have known that ladder was broken at the time, and he was just doing his usual spot.
Yeah, he wouldn't have known.
That was so dangerous. That ladder could have just completely just crumpled at that point.
I mean, yeah, it would have. And they would have had to just work around it. But apparently the spot was supposed to be Damian Priest giving the Miz a South of Heaven off of the ladder. But because it buckled, and then by the time he went to slam him, it just completely went. The leg went out and it tipped.
Yeah.
That they both just fell off, and Miz kind of took a bump, but it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. You could see it wasn't. Whatever was meant to happen didn't happen.
The commentary team there again were very good. I think the commentary team was fantastic, because they were like,
they covered. I think
they basically said he went for a South of Heaven, but it was actually more of a power slam or something like that, and they tried to cover it as best they could without saying that wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah, I think they said like, oh, he just threw the Miz off the ladder. Like, I think it was to that effect. It was that he just threw him off somehow, because he did actually, like, he put his hand on him, but then the ladder gave way and they had to both jump off.
Yeah.
So New Day didn't do much that I remember. They didn't do much except for poor JD McDonough, poor Jordan Devlin getting absolutely shit canned off the ladder through tables. And
he it was meant to be through 2 tables, wasn't it? And it was 1.5. It was 1.5 tables he went through.
Oh god! If you go back and watch it, anyone listening, you go back and watch it. He misses. He does a complete Bubba Ray Dudley, and he misses one of the tables and just goes through one completely.
And the people that sit there and go, "Why do you like wrestling? It's fake." And we know it's fake.
It's not fake. I hate that word. It's predetermined.
It's predetermined, but you can't fake falling off a ladder. No. You cannot fake gravity.
No.
JD McDonough has just absolutely gone from about 20 foot in the air to a concrete floor that is being protected by the thinnest mat known to man. And he has just absolutely taken that onto his spine.
Yeah. through a very thin piece of wood.
Yeah.
That's been rigged purposely to be broken through. So yeah, I don't like people using the word fake. Predetermined's fine because it is, but fake is not. I
Yeah.
hate that.
And
Sorry, go on.
But then we get Miz, and R-Truth gets his moment.
I was
We
just
we
gonna say,
missed
yeah,
we missed before we say so. R-Truth and Miz, Awesome Truth won the Raw belts in the end.
yep,
So we've split the belts up again, which is good. I think the men's tag division is actually looking the strongest it's been in a while
yes,
for both brands.
yes.
But before we get to the end of the match, we have to acknowledge that the first 6-pack open ladder match had a hot tag in the middle.
Yeah,
R-Truth
and he
went for a
pinned,
hot tag again.
and he fucking pinned him. He pinned Balor for the 3 count. He actually pinned.
Miz just screaming, "It's
Yeah.
not a pin."
Yeah, because he was all celebrating, and then Miz was like pointing like up at the belts. He's like, no, it's a ladder match. Yeah, but he went, but still Miz gave him the hot tag. Oh man, I love it. Then we went on to our first toilet break match, which I is rather unfortunate considering who is involved. Rey Mysterio and Andrade Del Idolo versus, for some reason, his son, Dominic Mysterio, and Santos Escobar.
Yeah, it was a match.
It was a match. It happened.
It was a payday for them all.
Yeah, it was fine as far as the match goes, but there was no reason to have it.
The best spot of the match came from someone that wasn't in the match.
Oh yeah. So there was two guys with luchador masks just came through the crowd, jumped the barricade, and initially you think, oh, they're going to beat up Rey and Andrade, and they didn't. They beat up Dominic and Escobar to give Rey.
It was Mr. Swift, and I don't know who the other one is. It was 2 people from
Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. They're apparently, according to what I'm reading, they're Philadelphia Eagles NFL team offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So
they
helped. They helped them win. So
the only thing I'm going to remember from this match, and it's already happened once this year in January, was when I think it was Wacky and Wild just gets absolutely catapulted from the middle rope, and the distance he gets up the ramp is insane.
Yeah,
take out Bert and.
Yeah.
Is he Bert still, or is he now down to B? I don't know.
No, he can still be.
I gain another name yet?
Okay, Bert and Angel. Bert and Ernie.
I just want another name. That's all. I need him to lose his.
We'll see.
But that's the only thing I remember from that match. And then yeah, like you say, 2 men jump the barrier, flatten Dom.
Yep.
Which is a straight DQ, so Dom and Santos should have won.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention at that point. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't really paying attention. I don't know if the ref was distracted or anything, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on because that match was pointless. And apart from the promo leading up to this next match, the promo package leading into this was fucking excellent. I might add, great bit of sort of hype for the match in cinema, but the match was slower than snail shit. So the fourth match on the card was Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, and like I said, the video package to hype up this match was superb. It was absolutely fantastic storytelling, in my opinion. And the third ever brother versus brother match at WrestleMania. The other two being Bret Hart versus Owen Hart and Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to end the podcast here. How have you forgotten the Undertaker and Kane?
Oh, I'm talking real brothers, not.
He killed his parents.
Not really. Oh, shut the fuck up. Not kayfabe brothers, because then Edge versus Christian would be in there. No, real, actual, like related, like proper related brothers. Yeah, I thought the match was okay, but the pace of it was absolutely arse. It was the slowest card, like match on the card, in my opinion. There was just so much delay between everything that it didn't. I don't know. It felt it to me.
Yeah.
It was way too slow, and the crowd
This,
died here. Like they were already not really into the Rey Mysterio match, but they really bottomed out here after the entrances. Because I don't
yeah.
know, I think they were expecting like some amazing bloodline style storytelling involved, and apart from Jimmy, like doing the sort of "I'm sorry," like please, like don't hit me anymore after he got super kicked to hell. Like,
Yeah.
apart from that, it fell flat, if you ask me.
And speaking of entrances that you've said, I said how we had Motionless and White doing like the best entrance of the night, and can
Yeah.
we please explain what Jay's mid
Oh
card
my
Jay's
god. Oh.
was it Lil Wayne? I don't know
Oh,
who it
it
was.
was supposed to be yeah, it was Lil Wayne. But and they were
And he
like the
did fuck
greatest
off.
rapper in the world. I'm like, I beg to differ. You've got Snoop Dogg sitting there, and Eminem is still alive. Like I was kind of like, okay, that's a very very debatable
And
title to
he
give
did
someone.
nothing.
But
He said about 2 words in the entire thing.
I swear to God, like I was like, oh, cool, Lil Wayne, all right, fine. He didn't do nothing. He did nothing. He didn't even. Oh my! I can't. It was so pointless that I think even Jay was just like, oh yeah, whatever. He literally was just whatever. But the match
But
itself,
I think that they could have gone harder. They could have gone, especially with being
quicker.
brothers. It could have been quicker. They could have gone on that little bit harder against each other and just if in wrestling you have to trust your opponent's going to do things safe,
Yeah.
and that's probably when you're in WWE, it's probably easier to do than like most indies promotions and stuff like that. Because these are the best of the best that have come to WWE,
Yes.
sort of thing. So
Yes.
you've always got that sort of truth. But then if you take the trust that you have there and then say, also this guy's my legit blood brother, he's not going to hurt me. Then Empire could have easily tore the show down here and just gone, yeah, we're going to have an absolute bloodbath here and just like go to town at each other.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely could. I think it could have been a bit more. There could have been a bit more technical wrestling as well. I don't know. I don't really. I just felt like it was fine at points, but every time it started to speed up, it then slowed down. Like when they were doing the super kicks and it was yeet, no yeet, yeet, no yeet. I thought, okay, that's cool. Yeah, they're getting the crowd into it. But then they would just slow down again. They would just stop. Like one would get kicked to the outside, and then the other one would just, stumble around like a drunk in the ring for a couple of minutes. And it was just like, yeah. But
at least when we got to the end, though, this rivalry is now done. We'll never see these pair against each other again
until next month.
Until tomorrow night.
Until tomorrow night, I suppose. So yeah, Jay wins with a spear, funny enough, and an Uso splash, which is fine. I'm not sure how I feel about Jay using the spear, because I feel like the spear is getting, while it's a very protected move, which is fine, it's getting overused by lots of different people. Bron Breakker uses it. Jay now uses it. Roman Reigns clearly uses it. Bobby Lashley uses it. Old Man Goldberg, when he's around, he'll use it. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, and I forgot. What's her name? Oh god, Bianca Belair uses the spear as well, I think. Charlotte Flair uses it. I know.
Charlotte used it, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on quickly, because we've got a lot to get through. Then we had a very, very last minute, very, very strange slap together 6-woman tag match to allow people to get paid. Because there's been no build up to this, literally none. We had Jade Cargill's first WrestleMania appearance, teaming up with Bianca Belair and Naomi. and they faced off against what's left of Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane in a just a standard match.
The match that nearly inducted Kairi Sane into the Hall of Pain.
Yes,
Mark Henry's had a seizure.
Yeah, Mark Henry has finally lost the plot. He's I understand that he's very old school, very traditional, but to say that the other girl should have just blasted her like to the outside was somewhat unnecessary. Like Kairi Sane and Asuka, and they're supposed to be the heels, and yeah, while leaving the ring probably would have been a good idea. They have to all be on the same page for that. Like they have to know that that's what you do. Whereas maybe,
but even if you look at the replay, you see Kairi goes to get out of the ring, but then Asuka's getting out of the ring where Kairi stood. So she walks across the ring and then gets out. So it's not like she's staying in the ring for an absolute age. She's literally like, I'm trapped in a corner here. I need to get out.
I can't exit the ring here. It's a bit like when we were playing our universe mode and they just get stuck in the thing just doing this, on the stairs just going back and forth. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Kairi Sane glitched, I don't know. But yeah, the match was crap. I'm really honest. There wasn't anything in there for me to be like, oh wow, I'm so impressed. No, it was a serviceable match. It was okay. Nothing to stand out.
One of the things that made no sense for me in this match, and it's before the match happened, and I'm going back to these entrances again. But Damage Control, who are a legit tag team, had like this just music plays, out we come as a trio.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because of who's in it, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill, they have a fucking plinth coming down from the sky.
Yeah.
Which Bianca Belair's twirling her hair around like a helicopter.
Oh yeah, and hitting both of her fucking teammates with it.
Well, if she's using that as a propeller, that plinth should have been going upwards, not down. That's defying physics. What she's doing there.
Well, I don't know much about helicopters, but she needs a second one at the back to make sure that she stays upright. Wow, okay, yeah, I just completely nerd bombed myself. Sorry. Quickly moving back across to the actual match. The only thing that really sort of was worth any note was that Asuka accidentally sprayed Kairi with the blue mist. And Belair using her hair to absolutely slap the shit out of Asuka's chest, stomach, whatever she hit. The gunshot sound that they love to play in there.
At what point does that hair become a weapon? Because they make it sound, like you say, they make it sound like a gunshot. So is that not a DQ? Is she not using something that people can't use?
Well, this is it. Like, where do you draw the line? She could hide a knife in there. You know, like anyone who's watched Once Upon a Time in China will know that, you know, the long ponytails that the men used to have, you could hide like small blades in it, and they become lethal. But yeah, so apparently Jade Cargill's her finisher is called the Jaded.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess the the naming team was out to lunch when she went in with her suggestions for her finisher. But Dakota Kai took the pin, which means that they kind of still want Asuka and Kairi Sane to look strong. Well, they got absolutely flattened here by a non-team. Let's just be clear: neither of these three opponents have ever teamed up against anyone. It was just it was just one of those. Oh, okay, I'm going to bring back up. Whatever. Let's move on because that.
Oh no, let's not. Let's stay on this.
No. We need to.
No, you can't make.
Listen.
Don't make me relive it
again. It's fine. Calm down. It's fine. It's going to be okay. It's going to be like a band-aid. We'll just rip the band-aid off and we'll move straight on to the main event. We have probably the sorest and most painful match of the evening, and I don't mean that from a physical standpoint. I mean emotional abuse standpoint. And I know Walker agrees with me because we both picked this for our prediction. The match is Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title match, and after Gunther being the absolute shithouse heel that he is and doing everything correctly and being fucking amazing, Sami Zayn got the win. So Gunther's reign ended at 666 days. So I'm kind of hoping that they've noticed and do something with that. But yes, what a bollocks match. I have never seen a one-sided match end with the with Sami Zayn winning like he did. Gunther.
For 90% of this match, it was a squash match.
Oh my god, it's like that when we were playing GM mode and Roman Reigns won with the drop toe hold. That's how it felt. Like you've been absolutely dominated. You've been put through the ringer. This guy has chopped the shit out of you. He has been mocking you. He was just power bombs after power bombs.
Power bomb, and then just big splash. Oh. I think he did like 4 big splashes each time, looking straight at Sammy's wife, saying, "Throw in the towel for him." Basically.
Yeah, and she's like, "No." And I, by the way, she annoyed me because rather than sort of play into it, she kind of just stayed quiet, except for shouting encouragement, which maybe that's what she was told to do, but she could have been a bit more, I don't know, of a character involved, I guess, if she's going to be involved, but I don't know. Yes, so we had sleeper hold submissions, we had Blue Thunder bombs. We saw a which I found quite funny. We had a brainbuster from Sami Zayn to Gunther from the top rope, which everyone has said was a botch. But
no, it's not a botch.
It is. It's not, because he, as El Generico, he's been doing it for years. I know that much. But the wrong person wins here. Absolutely disgusting booking. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. If they think this is how you free up Gunther for the main event, you've still got Roman Reigns. He still exists. It's not like he died. The Rock, which we'll get to eventually, has stake to claim, and you've just got like Drew McIntyre still there, Randy Orton's still hanging around, Kevin Owens is still there,
CM
Punk is still around. So let's, I think Gunther should have stayed on top here. I do not understand why Sami Zayn.
It's just the fact that he is clinically dead. At one point in that match, he is clinically dead, just taking splash after splash after splash, and then he has a seizure, goes full Hulk Hogan,
you said that to me.
There's no way to describe it. He just flops around in the ring like he's.
He literally hulks up.
Medical attention at that point.
He does the Hulk up, like kind of gets to his knees and he's like shaking. Then Gunther hits him and he just stops. I was like, oh, fuck off. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, here we go. And I was kind of hoping that Gunther would like take the Blue Thunder bomb, kick out, like smash him again, and then it would be like done. But no. Right. Anyway, I told you it would be quick. So we move on to the main event of night one. We have the bloodline of The Rock and Roman Reigns, accompanied by the Wise Man and now Hall of Famer Paul Heyman. And they faced Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The stipulation was that if the bloodline wins, then on night 2, when Cody faces Roman Reigns for the title, it'll be bloodline rules, which basically is a fancy way of saying a no DQ match. And I thought this was a very good main event for night 1.
Yeah, it was.
It's different.
It was long. It was 44 minutes or something like that. Which, when The Rock came back, everyone was like, "He's not going to be able to go for a match against Roman Reigns." 40 minutes later, he's still.
And I'd like to add, although he wasn't active the entire time, he did spend more than 20 minutes being active. So which is more than what some of the returnees have put out. Goldberg. So yes, and he didn't look tired, which was wonderful. He did not look like he was struggling at the end. Yeah. So, long story short, Bloodline won. Although there was a lot of shenanigans, which we kind of saw, which they haven't really. I don't know if it was discussed, but Rock basically threatened to fire the referee.
Oh yeah,
if he went against
glorious.
the Rock.
That was glorious from the Rock. That was just heel 101, and why Name Redacted didn't do that in all of his title runs back in the country, the company when he was running it. Then I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just because this match wasn't a Bloodline Rules match, but it turned into one basically. Because
yes, it was a glimpse.
It starts off as a normal tag match, and then as he's outside, the ref just does his job, gets to about a 5 count, and the Rock just turns to him and goes, "Stop your counting! You count anymore, you're fired." And the Rock doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, obviously they tried to catch his F-bombs, but they were incredibly late. You wouldn't want them playing Missile Defender anyway. They were rubbish. So yes, Rock threatens the ref, which now turns it into a pretty much a no DQ match.
But it felt like it was never discussed. The rules never came out. But it felt like even though it was a no DQ match, Cody and Steph basically tried to stay as if it was a normal match.
Yeah,
and it was only Roman and The Rock that could do anything. Like they were doing blatant low blows. There was all sorts. And the refs just like, "I can't do anything. I'm sorry. I want a job."
As far I believe there was a point where, and I think Michael Cole mentioned it on commentary, where the ref turned to either Seth or Cody and he said, "I'm sorry, I can't do anything." And it was actually quite loud because I heard him say something about being sorry, and I was like, "Oh," and then Cole like mentioned it. I was like, "Oh, cool." Yeah, The Rock was great. He was actually really good, which I was so pleased. I cannot.
You know, Mama Rhodes the entire match.
That's brilliant. That's superb shithousery Rock there. I loved the fact that Rock was fit to do everything he needed to do, and he took some pretty heavy bumps too. Like,
they brawled to the outside.
Yeah, like let's not sugarcoat this now.
There's the one spot in the where Roman, I think it is. Roman goes out with Seth into the like the crowd area.
Yeah, that's right.
And they get him up on like a box full of. I'm assuming it's just got brew stuff in it, like and whatever.
Yeah,
but Roman turns around to the crowd and just goes, "Move back."
Yeah, I'm gonna throw him over you.
And the crowd just basically just goes, "No."
Yeah. No, they're like, "We know our wrestling, sir. You are not in position to throw Cody Rhodes over your head. You're going over." And you see there's one guy in the crowd. He's actually like going every time. He like reacts every time that they go for the suplex and Cody blocks it. He keeps going with them, and it's like, that's me. If I'm at a wrestling show, that's me. I'm doing the moves as well. When I finish, I'm as exhausted as they are. Oh dear. But yes, it ended. It was like I said, for the first night, superb match. Just a couple of cool little moments was when both Rhodes and Rollins performed a pedigree on Rock and Reigns at the same time and got a near fall. Then Rhodes performed the Rock Bottom on the Rock through the broadcast table, which gave Rock his statutory 5-minute rest on the outside. You don't believe me? Go back and watch any WrestleMania that Rock's been in. He gets sent to the outside, put through a table. He takes a 5 to 10 minute sleep, and then he comes back. It's in his contract. Quote me. But yes, we thought maybe for a moment that Cody was going to get the win as he used multiple crossroads on on Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, but Rock ends up whipping Cody with his Mama Rhodes weight belt, and then Reigns spears Rhodes, tags in Rock. Rock gets a glorious people's elbow off onto Rhodes to win. So Cody Rhodes took the pin on night one. Seth was pretty badly hurt in storyline. His knee, he was holding his knee a lot as they did a lot of damage to his knee, which meant that obviously night two, the match for the championship was under Bloodline rules. Just a quick note as well, this match was the second longest in Mania history after Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, which I believe was a 1 hour Iron Man match in 1996.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the only reason that's longer is because it had to be a 60-minute Iron Man match. I think this match had no right to go on as long as it did, but it was so good.
I don't know how, but I managed to convince myself that Triple H has had some of the longest WrestleMania matches in Mania history, and I am incredibly wrong. So I just want to take this opportunity to apologise to our CEO, Triple H.
I'd have, if I had to guess without knowing them, I'd have said Shawn Michaels probably. I feel like him or Ric Flair. I feel like both of theirs seem to go drag on.
Well, I know why Ric Flair's drag on, but that's entirely different. Let's move on to night two, because we're already 45 minutes in. Let's move on to night two. So we have Stephanie McMahon. I suppose she is still a McMahon. She comes out and hypes up the crowd for night two, pretty much echoing everything that her husband said the first night, but adding a little bit extra.
Hitting one of the best "Are you readies"?
Yeah, it was.
Triple H would be proud of that.
Yeah, Triple H would have been proud. She did really, really well, and she looks amazing for someone that's been away for a while and she's come back. It hasn't aged a day. Perfect.
This is where what I said right at the start of this was it made this moment better for me because apparently she was at the Hall of Fame. And because I didn't watch the Hall of Fame, I had no clue Stephanie was back. So when her music hit, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, yeah, so yeah, you wouldn't have known. Okay, yeah, she was there with her ECW cap, which I thought was quite cool. So kicking off night two, was
a bagpipe solo. And a great bagpipe solo as well.
It was really well done. I enjoyed it. It's Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, with CM Punk as the special guest commentator because this is a feud that he's been involved in. This was the only match that he was on commentary for, which I think was a massive missed opportunity. But
he was great. I think
he was superb on commentary. He clearly can do that if he ever chose to. But we will explain why in a moment.
I'm going to make a bold shot here and say that he's going to be the next Michael Cole.
Oh, I would love that.
I think when Michael Cole finally has enough, Punk's going to be the main man that takes over on commentary.
Love that. I would love for CM Punk to take over on commentary. He knows his wrestling. He knows everything. Like, and he knows how to either big people up, shit on people. Like he can do that. He can do it. So, just if you didn't watch WrestleMania and you're listening to just get the fill in, Drew McIntyre has a Highland Pipers band. Bring him to, like, they basically escort him to the ring with you had a lot of
guard of honor with claymores.
Yes, a guard of honor, yes. And it was very impressive, and it was very, very cool, very, very cool, and it's and I might add what he deserves. He has been superb at being heel Drew McIntyre, and the video package leading in as well with the funeral home, I thought was absolutely excellent. Go and watch that if you can. It's superb. And then Seth Rollins comes down to the ring with what I can only describe as a mushroom-induced fever dream.
He brought the rosebuds back.
Well, they mentioned that on commentary. They said, "Isn't that like that guy in NXT?" No Way Jose is no longer in NXT. That's why everyone went quiet, because not only is Axel Rose not there, but also No Way Jose is no longer in NXT. At least not that I know of. I haven't
No, he's
seen him
not.
for a very long time, and it was a bit of a shit gimmick anyway. Um, yeah, so Seth Rollins comes to the ring. He's played in by a band, I think. CM Punk even refers to them as a circus version of Gwar. Um, yeah, I didn't know what I was looking at. His Seth Rollins' outfits just get wackier and wackier. I don't know how he can top that, to be honest. So we have to, obviously, for the sake of kayfabe, for the sake of storyline here, Seth Rollins is somewhat fatigued and injured as obviously the night before,
Yeah,
when he was in the main event. So he had even less rest time between his matches.
yeah.
Um,
And I was hoping that they were going to do a Sheamus at this point, because as
okay.
soon as that bell rings, you just get
Yeah,
a Claymore. Just
yeah.
straight out, just Claymore.
Straight
And I
out of
was
the
like, oh
corner.
shit, they've gone for it here. This is going to be a
Yeah,
Sheamus Daniel Bryan. This is just 1, 2, 3, done. And no, Seth does kick out of
yeah, he
that.
does. Rollins kicked out of the initial Claymore kick.
This match started off like we'd booted up WWE 2K24 and just gone have infinite finishes, boys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Infinite finish. Yeah. There were pedigrees. There was even McIntyre. He did a GTS, which is Punk's finishing move, on Rollins. Uh,
the best the best moment for me in this is when it goes to the outside
oh yeah, the phone.
and
Yeah,
Seth's like injured and Drew just picks up the phone off his family and just sends out a tweet saying bored at work,
yeah.
which is
Lol. Bored at
absolutely
work.
gold.
Lol. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So the whole time you think, well, there's going to be some moment where Seth's going to mount a comeback, and he's going to beat McIntyre. But we were pleasantly surprised, I suppose, when Drew actually won. He he Claymore kicked him. Rollins kicked out, and he hit him. He hit him like 3 times with a Claymore.
Yeah,
So 3 Claymore kicks, which is his finisher, to win the title in front of a live crowd.
he gets his WrestleMania
He
moment
got
and then he goes out of the ring and hands the belt to his wife or
yeah,
girlfriend. I don't know who it is
his wife, I
on the
think.
outside.
Yeah,
So she can have a look at it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Before, instead of doing the smart thing and heading back up that ramp, taunting Punk.
Yes, he yeah. This was probably something he shouldn't have done. Was he went over and started to hurl verbal abuse at CM Punk, and Punk even said Drew said Drew she could hear it through the microphone. He said, "This is my moment." Punk said, "Yeah, it is your moment. Why are you here talking to me?"
Yeah. Punk goes, "Why are you talking to me?" But then I
Yeah,
can't remember which order he says it in, Punk, but at one point you hear Drew like talking to him and Punk just sits goes, "I can't hear you. I've got cans on."
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah. He's sitting. He goes, "I can't hear you, buddy. I got cans on." Like I was like, that is brilliant because it's true. He can't hear him because he's got this kind of like headset on. He's just like, "I don't know what you're saying, buddy. I got cans on." Like I was like, yeah, I was like, that's fucking brilliant. It's a bit of a slice of life, you know. But then, while Drew is standing on the announcer's table taunting to the crowd, now he turns his back on Punk.
Punk goes full Miyagi.
Yeah, Punk sweeps the leg. Drew falls to the floor, and Punk hits him with the brace that he's been wearing on his arm, because of the injury he sustained at the Royal Rumble. And he hit him a couple. Did he hit him twice? I think it either hit him once or twice. But then the thing that broke Scottish hearts across across the world.
It's not just Scottish hearts.
Any hometown supporters, any like British supporters, I suppose, was Damien Priest's music hit. And as we all know, he is senior Money in the Bank. And he comes absolutely screaming down that. He must have got a speeding ticket. How fast he was going down that ramp. He ran down there. He like got the referee, gave him the briefcase. He cashed in. They got him. He hit him with the briefcase first, didn't he? So he hit Drew McIntyre with the briefcase. Classic. Stands him up, rolls him in the ring. They cash in. The bell goes. One south of heaven, and Drew McIntyre held the belt for about 6 minutes.
As much as I'd rather Drew McIntyre be champion right now, that south of heaven was bloody well hit.
It was a superb one. He went high up into the. I think he actually went higher than Damien Priest expected. To be fair,
yeah.
He sold that incredibly, and Damien Priest winning actually makes him the first world champion of Puerto Rican descent in over 50 years, and only the second world champion of Puerto Rican descent after Pedro Morales. But he's also the second person to cash in his briefcase at WrestleMania after Rollins. Yeah. Funny enough, cashed in at 31. WrestleMania 31, not H31. Yeah,
it was a good finish. I think it was. I mean, they obviously for years
everybody
forgot Roman Reigns. Yeah, with Roman Reigns being the champion for like 3 years straight, the Money in the Bank briefcase became obsolete. And as much as you don't want it to happen, this had to happen. I feel.
Oh, absolutely, to make it relevant again.
You do feel sorry for Drew.
I do.
I do think he'll get the belt back at some point.
Did you see?
But I feel like he'll go off with Punk first, maybe, and feud for that.
Did you see the tweet from his family?
Yeah, they left WrestleMania and just swore at the building.
Yep. Yeah.
They're true Scotsmen.
I'm kind of hoping it was a work, like they were allowed, they were taken outside. And then they came back into the building, and then we're watching.
It's definitely a work, and they definitely came back because where his family was sitting is where Mama Road sat. So I think that's just where they cycle. They must cycle the seat for who, who's
because on night one, that's where Sami
Zayn. Yeah. And then Mama Rhodes went there afterwards, and you always had Mama Rock was behind commentary.
Yes.
Yes. And Green Shirt Guy was there. He was there. Acknowledged green shirt guy.
Yeah, he was. The usual suspects were in the first and second row. The fake Macho Man as well.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. So now we have another a nothing match. Really. I know you were not happy about the result here. I could not really care less, but I was kind of happy because I kind of like Bobby Lashley. I always have done. So we had The Pride, which they still haven't officially called them yet, against the Final Testament. The Pride, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford, formerly known as the Street Profits, accompanied by B-Fab. Pass. I would absolutely fail if you asked me to name who that was. And they
first part Hit Row.
Oh dear. I know who they are, but I'm like, oh, okay. The Final Testament consisting of Karrion Kross, Akam, and Reza the AOP, accompanied by Scarlett and Paul Ellering. So technically 5 versus 4. Snoop Dogg was special guest commentator of the match. Please don't let Snoop Dogg do commentary ever again. All he did was make me cringe at the whole thing.
Just talking about weed and gin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I get it. Yeah, weed. Yeah. Oh, weed is funny. It's not for everybody. I get it, but like, yeah, please don't let Snoop Dogg do commentary ever again. WWE. It really like just absolutely ceased my enjoyment of this match because I couldn't like zone him out and just enjoy the wrestling.
We had the guest referee of Wowee
That
all the way
was
from
that was
Disneyville.
brilliant. Although I was kind of hoping that Devon would have been like they would have been like double guest referees, like because it was a Philadelphia street fight, and for anyone not aware, Philadelphia ECW began in Philadelphia, and Bubba Ray and Devon were massively over in that promotion. That's where they they pretty much came up through that promotion before they moved over to WWE. Yeah, apart from apart from Bubba doing all his gimmick without
It was
Devon,
just. It was a terrible booking decision. It was
just a
terribly
terrible match.
executed.
It
It was
just
terribly executed, and it was just botch after botch. So
yeah. There was a lot of botches. There was a lot of stuff
the table broke just by putting Karrion Kross on.
But that just shows how fucking thick Karrion Kross is, like, and I mean that in a good way.
Montez Ford overshoots and takes out Arkham and Razor by overshooting and like slamming his spine onto the ringside.
He literally just he just hurt himself more than he hurt them. But
it made no sense whatsoever. And I know the botch didn't help, but even without the botch, the finish made no sense because the move that took out the Authors of Pain should not have taken out the Authors of Pain.
No.
Yes, it's a hard-hitting move, but that does not keep you down for as long as it kept them down. Again, Scarlett got like chucked through a table. Fair enough. Okay, outside the ring, she wasn't meant to be involved. Whatever, that's fine. Paul Ellering just ceased to do anything. He just disappears. I know he's not trained or maybe he's a bit old, so probably best that he keeps out the ring and just stays a mouthpiece. But then you've got Karrion Kross that looks like he's put Bobby Lashley away.
Yeah.
And then just squares up to Bubba Ray Dudley for unknown reasons. Who, like you say, apart from the fact that this is a Philadelphia street fight, Bubba Ray Dudley's just like thrown in there, like, well, we'll get you on the card here. It's ECW's home, but you can be the referee here. It makes no sense in this match. Yeah. So then Bubba Ray Dudley just decides, fuck it, I'm just gonna go very biased and just fuck it. I'm gonna help the Pride win this match. So he does the whole like was up top rope spot with Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah, he does.
And then just like they put Karrion Kross away, but like I say, there's the table spot which they break one table and
by
they sort
accident.
of like they laugh it off and just go out and grab another table and set up the move again. But in that point, no one touches Arkham and Razor. So according to like kayfabe, that Montez Ford leap has put them in a coma. They are just down and out. That is the strongest move in WWE. They have been down for about 20 minutes after a leap.
Montez Ford knows how to change physics. Yeah.
So the match made no sense to me. It was stupid, and I don't know what. Like, I love Karrion Kross. At this point, I'm like, just go to AEW, mate. Just get out of WWE because they don't know what to do with you. You should be an absolute unit in this company.
I don't understand. See, I don't think the problem is Karrion Kross's ability, look. I don't think it's any of those things. I think his gimmick is confusing. At least to me it is. Now, I've watched wrestling for years. I mean years. And there has been gimmicks that I've been kind of confused. Like, are you a ghost? Are you supernatural? Like things like Bray Wyatt. Initially, Bray Wyatt, when he was with the Wyatt family, he was like a cult leader. I understood that much. I understood it, and he was using some kind of mind control to gain like that's not too unlike all these like cults in America where everybody drink the Kool-Aid, we're all gonna go to this magical realm. No, they just drank poison, like, and everyone's dead. Like, I get that mind control can be done, and that's like I'm fine with that. Undertaker came from an era where characters were a thing, right? So he's technically dead. Okay, cool. I get that. I can live with that. Anyone that's come since, it's very difficult for me to be like, okay, I don't really get your gimmick. Are you meant to be like, are you meant to be in touch with like the spirits? Are you meant to be a sorcerer? Like, what's your deal? And Karrion Cross, as intimidating as he is, I do not understand his gimmick. I don't get it. I do not understand the clock, the hour. Like, what happens when the hourglass is empty? Like, do they die? Like, does he?
Exactly.
Like, I just wish they would spend more time explaining
Yeah.
everything to make his, like, or give him promo time, let him talk, let him explain his methodology and stuff so that we understand him, because at the moment he's just kind of going around telling people their time is up. Well,
And then
okay.
losing.
And then losing, like, and yeah, it's not, yeah, I mean, you kind of, with the fantasy booking bit, you kind of went with like, he's done it to like Ray, or he's done it to this, and then they've lost like their family. Like Dominic turned on him, and then they did it to someone else, and they turned on him. If they went full in with that, like splitting up factions, fine. But yeah, I don't know.
The way it's getting a bit off topic for what we do on the
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
But
Okay,
the way I'd book it would be that they would be the harbingers of death. They have this sort of like spooky thing. They could be like a new four horsewomen, or like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, because you've got Arkham and Razor, who are just the powerhouses.
Yeah,
You could have Paul Ellering, who's like the voice of this thing, and Karrion Cross is just like death, basically.
yeah,
And Scarlet can just leave the clock there saying, your time's coming, and then eventually these like monsters will just like take you out.
yeah,
Almost like if you had them like almost like a shield, almost like
yeah,
a new version of it. Like, okay, like take Damien Priest, for example. They come down to the Judgment Day and just leave the clock on the side of the ring and say, your time's coming.
yeah,
Then, not next pay-per-view, but maybe the pay-per-view after, Damien Priest is like in a title defense, and then all of a sudden lights start to go out or whatever, and then Karrion Cross and the Authors of Pain just take out Damien Priest
yeah,
and just let whoever else wins, like guns for hire almost.
yeah.
They could do that and make them like this absolute dominant faction.
They
And
could.
they're missing the mark so much with Karrion Cross, and he was so good in NXT.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's partly why, when you speak so highly of him, while I can respect those other things I mentioned, the fact that his gimmick is not over with me, because I don't get it, that's partly why I can't be so
Yeah.
thing. So that, yeah. Anyway, but let's so yeah. So the Pride end up winning. So Lashley and the Street Profits get the win, and then Snoop, does his thing in the ring afterwards. Okay. After that, we had the Slim Jim special. What the fuck was this match? What the actual? I loved the video package again because it was done very well in catching it. If you haven't been following Raw and SmackDown recently, or SmackDown mostly, you wouldn't really know what's happening. And basically, since Elimination Chamber, or before Elimination Chamber, when they were deciding who was actually going to go in, LA Knight and AJ Styles have had problems with each other, and then they were having bare knuckle fights backstage, that were supposed to be outside of the realm of the story, home invasions, all kinds of rubbish like that. And as cool as it was, that sort of Pillman has a gun kind of build up, I was like, yeah, but that's not really LA Knight's character to suddenly become this Austin-esque home invader. It felt like they pivoted really fast and tried to almost add another element to LA Knight's character, which doesn't suit him, in my opinion, being an LA Knight fan, and I will be forever. But this match, absolutely. Sorry, guys. Look, we really don't know what to do with you. Just between you build something, we'll do our best to produce it, and then we'll get you onto the Mania card. Yeah, and LA Knight wins. which I was pleased with.
It-
I was pleased with. Gonna just put that out there. Very happy that LA Knight won.
The only two things I take away from this match is one, some lucky woman got the Slim Jim's hot rod because LA Knight just gifts her a key on his entrance. And then the other thing, it randomly cut away to like the crowd of Slim Jim
Oh yeah,
die-hard fans, and there's just a guy
What
deep
the
throating a
fuck?
Slim Jim. He is
yeah, I
proper
saw that. He's
deep-throating
like,
a Slim Jim.
get that down me. Fucking hell! What was that? It was so weird, but I get it. They are partnered with Slim Jim.
They love a good Slim Jim, he especially loved a Slim Jim.
The thicker the better. I just quickly off topic. I've been to America many times. I've had Slim Jims. They're not that good. We have Pepperamis in the UK, and they are superior. They are so much better than a Slim Jim. Yeah. So all the hype for me ain't worth it. But yeah, that lucky lady got a car. Well done. She was a sweepstakes winner. I didn't even know there was a sweepstakes happening for it. But she got to go to WrestleMania and win a car. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll enter the Slim Jim sweepstakes next year. Who knows? Maybe I'll get to be in the crowd of Slim Jim enjoyers. But
Just cuts the camera cuts along to everyone with Slim Jim and just you with a pepperoni.
yeah, it's like I got the real shit right here. But no, seriously, Pepperami is superior. Not much happened. It was an okay match. It wasn't the worst. It went on about as long as it needed. It was fine. Both Styles and LA Knight performed very, very well. Good chemistry, and LA Knight countered a phenomenal forearm into a blunt force trauma to win on his WrestleMania debut, I might add.
Yeah.
So that was good. Hopefully this is now momentum for LA Knight going forward to try and take on Cody Rhodes, perhaps. I don't know. There's a lot going on in that picture, but we'll see.
Depends what happens at the end of the month. We've got draft night coming up.
We got draft night. Draft night for LA Knight. Oh well, he probably end up on Raw now or something. Because he's currently signed to SmackDown. Right, moving on very swiftly. We had probably the most entertaining match, in my opinion, from the perspective of, if you know wrestling, you will love this match. If you love proper in-match storytelling, this is a great match. It's for the United States title, and it is the Maverick, Logan Paul, accompanied by a Prime Energy drink mascot, against Randall Keith Orton and Kevin Owens. Shortly before the match, Kevin Owens bumps into Sami Zayn backstage, and like the night before, they switched roles, and Sami Zayn now hypes up Kevin Owens to go out there and get his, as he said. It's time for you to get yours. And he he gets out there, sees Logan Paul's little Prime truck that he brought to the ring, gets in a golf buggy, and drives down to the. Kevin Owens just decides, I'm not walking down to the ring, and he gets in his golf buggy and drives 3/4 of the way down before Randy Orton's music hits. And this is and from this moment on, I knew that this match was going to be good, because Kevin Owens then reverses all the way back up to the top of the ramp and tells Randy Orton to jump on the back of the buggy, and you can tell they're having so much fun. And Randy Orton is now in full sort of, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing now.
I think Randy Orton's in full I'm shitting my pants mode, because he tells Kevin Owens to slow down.
I think he thinks they're going to crash into the ring. Because he says, like, yeah, he goes, let's go. And then they get, like, halfway down the ramp, and Kevin Owens is not slowing down, and Randy's going, like, stop. But they are enjoying what they're doing. It's clearly a lot of fun for them. this match, it was fine. It was a decent triple threat.
I feel like this is where we disagree now, because you said it's fine. This for me was match of the weekend. This was match of the weekend for me. This one.
I enjoyed it as far as the fact that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were working together to beat the shit out of Logan Paul.
Yeah, for me, you had
but you like
so it
Prime,
starts off
so.
like you say. It was I do like Prime, but that's why I like it, because I'm a simp for Logan. Though so you had the
Drinks garbage. You just like the man that created it.
No, so you start off with like Kevin Owens and Randy like working together,
Yeah.
and then you get this whole moment of like they both go for a pinfall, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
But you see Logan right at the start does what I've said on Universe Mode: just stay out of the ring, and he just jumps out of the ring straight away and just goes, fight, go on.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He literally leaves the ring. Like,
just go, I'll let you guys do it. But no, there was I remember most of this like I say, for me this was match of the weekend, and that includes the main event that we're going to get to and the main event from the night before.
Okay.
Because there was like at one point in the match, you had Kevin Owens go pie and hit a Swanton bomb onto Logan Paul.
Yep.
And then, like a few minutes later, Logan Paul goes up to the top. But this is like, honestly, this move is just insane. And Logan Paul has no right to be this good at wrestling.
Yeah. We keep saying it.
He does the Swanton bomb onto Kevin Owens, but then rolls through into a frog splash onto Randy Orton, who's the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
And it's like just the sheer way that he can have enough momentum to do both of them in one fluid motion.
Yeah.
And I've said previously, I think he does a better buckshot lariat than Hangman Adam Page. I think his buckshot lariat is fantastic as well. I hate the fact that I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. When he first joined, I was like, no. Get gone.
Yeah,
no,
I was hoping that it was a one-off appearance. But I hate the fact that he is as good as he is. I hate that because he's got no right being that good. But the truth is, like, behind everything, apparently he spends so much time in the performance center practicing, doing like he's taking this so seriously. Like you have to kind of, as much as of a fucking shithouse he is, you have to kind of just give it to him and be like, you know what, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the time. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. We may not like your character, and you are a bit of a dick IRL, but he's doing good work. His matches aren't boring, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then
But then you had the teaser for Return of the Punt Kick.
Oh my god! When he lined up for that, I was like, yes, fucking kicking his head off. And then because that's the Orton era I really liked, was when he was like proper legend killer, proper like,
But then you come to one of the
band.
Yeah, you come to one of the moments of the match where the Prime bottle saves Logan Paul, and then you get casual racism from Michael Cole, which just comes so left field. And I want to put a disclaimer out: Michael Cole is not racist, but it was just the way it came across on commentary sounds so bad, because he was like,
it did.
Like they did the reveal, and Michael Cole goes, "That's Logan Paul's partner in Prime," and then Pat McAfee goes, "No, that's I Show Speed."
Yeah, he thought it was KSI. I was like, no, that's I Show Speed. Even I knew that, and I don't really know who the guy is, but. Yeah. Pat McAfee corrected him. I was, everyone. It was that the reaction thing where like thousands of people do like the thing. Just do it all at once. But it was quickly,
it was quickly taken over. Yeah, I'm not saying. I will put out again. I'm not saying that he is. It was just funny the way. He just jumped on it straight away because like
they don't know.
He did it. He did it last time. Last time it was KSI in there.
Yeah, it was.
So it would make sense for
it to be KSI again.
Considering this was Prime's big event, and I know that sounds weird saying that when it's WrestleMania time, but you had the first ever like
hydration station.
Yeah, you had the hydration station at the side. You had the impossible to open bottle, which was eventually opened by a child.
Oh my god, that was so funny. When he went to tip it, thinking that there was stuff in it, he went to tip it, and then nothing came out, so he hit him with it.
Yeah. There was
Oh fuck.
they had like the turnbuckles had Prime on it, so
Yeah,
it was Prime's night in terms of like
it really
this
was.
is a huge sponsor for not just them but also WWE because I imagine there's
Yeah,
quite a lot in it for
yeah.
both of them.
Oh god, yeah. Oh
Um,
god, yeah.
and then so you would expect KSI to be the one there, and the fact that it was iShow Speed is just completely left field because
That's
he's nothing to do with Prime.
He's got
He's
nothing
not.
to do with it. But the way he was, okay. So this is the bit where I burst out laughing because he's fronting up to Randy Orton, who at this stage in his career can do no wrong. He
Yeah.
could have murdered this kid, and everyone would be like, "Oh, good old Randy, look at him go."
Yeah,
So
he's like he squares up to him doing like the dog sound and then swearing at Randy, and Randy just punt kicks him, just absolutely Sparta kicks him and lays him out.
Did you see how hard he kicked him? He fucking put his foot through him. He kicked him so hard. I think he actually like winded him because when he picked him up, like to put him to when he took the prime bottle suit off, and he's trying to pick this kid up. The kid's literally going like because he can't breathe because he's been fucking kicked in the sternum. And Randy Orton's just like destroyed this kid, picks him up, puts him on the table, and fucking drops him.
RKO's through the table.
I mean, he
didn't even go through the table.
No, just onto it. But he sold. But he did the bump really, really well. He took the bump very, very well.
And that's something that I think we can again go back. KSI took the RKO insanely well, and I don't know,
100%.
and so did iShow Speed. So you've got to give credit to both of them, who are not wrestlers, who sold that to perfection. But also just how good Randy Orton is to make sure that he can do that move so safely on people that he can just drag from the street and go, "I'm going to hit you with an RKO."
And you're going to take a front bump. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's it. We're doing it in the ring, right? No. We're going to do it on a solid table. He's like, okay. But yeah, Randy Orton being the best version of Randy Orton. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of a technical hitch. All my USB sockets just all decided to commit suicide at once. So we were talking about the where Randy Orton was absolutely kicking the shit out of iShow Speed. But yeah, so at the end of the match, we got Orton countering Kevin Owens' pop-up powerbomb into a very, very smooth RKO, but Logan Paul doing the probably the best part of what we've seen in any triple threat is to then grab Randy Orton, throw him out of the ring, and frog splash Kevin Owens, and he retains his US title. So Logan Paul is still the US champion after quite a few months now.
correct decision for me. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
With what happens later on in the night, which we're sort of spoiling now at this point. So, but to be fair, everyone should know what's happened at WrestleMania at this point. And if you listen to this and you haven't watched it, it's sort of on you. So
we're enough days removed. Yeah.
Now that Cody's got the belt, we've got that champion back on proper. Like someone that's going to be on every show of SmackDown probably. So I feel like you can give this belt to Logan Paul, who was promoting the brand in other ways. Because if you ever watch his podcast, The Impulsive, he has it on the table in front of him. Yep. He's carried it round. He's got it at events, at like Prime opens and stuff like that. Anywhere he goes, he has that belt.
Yes.
And I think it's the best decision WWE have done, because then it's not just the events that he goes to. Like he's one of the most popular people on YouTube still.
Yeah.
So you've still got this like insane following that is just going to go, what, he's got a belt? What belt's that? Oh, WWE, I didn't know he's in it. All right, off there I go.
Yeah. Let me see what he's been doing. It's great cross promotion for them. The only, like I said, the only thing that we discussed in our predictions video was the fact that neither Kevin Owens nor Randy Orton at this stage in their careers need the US title for anything. So yeah, I think they're going to leave it on Logan for a while, probably at least until SummerSlam.
Big Bronson Reed, get it on Bronson.
Yeah, any of these up and coming guys, really. I was thinking actually, you know what would be a really good match, and then this is completely stepping away from WrestleMania at the moment. Just a quick bit of fantasy booking, would be for Ilya Dragunov to relinquish the NXT title, possibly undefeated, which would be really cool. Then have like a tournament in NXT for the title, and then because they love a tournament, and then for him to go after the US title. I think
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say Bron Breakker just to see him spear Logan in half.
That too, Bron Breakker would be fine, but they need to break him and Baron Corbin up, and then.
Well, they dropped the belts last night.
Oh, well, thanks for that. I hadn't watched it yet.
Spoiler.
Anyway,
I didn't know you've watched NXT.
I do. I do. I try and catch up with NXT as much. I actually, since we now get NXT the very next day on the network, I will start watching it again. The only reason why I stopped watching NXT was because it was about 4 weeks behind. Because of the shitty TV deal they had. Now that they are exclusively network only, I will go back to watching NXT week after week, because I didn't watch Stand and Deliver. I don't know what happened there, but I am so down for Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes' rivalry. I don't know what happened, so I will check that out later. Don't tell me, even if you know. But let's quickly move on to the second to last match, the penultimate match, which was for the women's heavyweight championship. WWE Women's Championship, not heavyweight. That's my bad. It was Io Sky defending against Bayley, and Bayley has gone back to her face persona of being the role model. She's got that awesome Egyptian like theme to her. I don't know if there's a significance to that.
That was weird because apparently she was supposed to have Paramore playing into the ring. So I'm guessing, unless that was Paramore, I don't know.
It didn't sound like Paramore.
No, it didn't sound like Paramore to me. But all the things going up to WrestleMania said that WWE had paid for the rights for her to have Paramore playing a song to her.
Okay, maybe they just I'm sure it will come out some point soon why that didn't happen. But that was it was a good match. It was a really good match. Bayley looked fantastic as always. Io Sky, I liked her Titantron. Have you noticed that? That's something else that's coming back now. Is that they've got more animated Titantrons?
Yeah,
video things playing behind them.
Logan Paul seemed to bring that back with his Maverick one, like an actual Titantron.
He's got like him hitting moves and stuff like that. Classic Titantron, which they got rid of for the longest time. They just had graphics.
Yep,
which is it's fine, but I preferred when they had like highlight reels almost. So
because then if you were a casual fan, you sort of know what this person does. It's not just a name. You can look at their entrance video and go, okay, he's a high flyer, for example. He's all of his things are all like him jumping off the top rope.
Yep. Yeah, you get a feel for their character as well. I think 2012 Randy Orton's Titantron is probably his best. My opinion anyway. Right, quickly going back to the women's match. So I think it was probably as long as it needed to be. I think if it went longer, it would have started to get a bit stale, because the story here has been built, it's been set. I think people kind of had a feeling that they may have known what the result was going to be. But yeah, it was pretty one-way traffic, really. I've never seen a champion look so weak, yeah. And I mean that with all respect in the world to Io Sky. It wasn't her performance, it was just the fact that Bayley was just so dominant, like the power moves, like the Bayley to belly suplexes. I really liked the STF, the step over into the crossface from Io Sky. That was that was a good move, but yeah.
So I've taken a quick look. I googled it quickly, and apparently Hayley Williams gives WWE star Bailey permission to walk out to Simmer.
Oh,
It
okay.
definitely wasn't Simmer that we heard.
Okay.
So they must have turned that down.
Okay.
But yeah, the only other thing for me that I really like, well, I say really liked in this match, we've crossed the border. The UK fans have made it in America. They've broke America now because you had 74,000 people chanting "Hey Bailey, ooh ah," and she was actually laughing this time and like living up to it.
Yeah, she was loving it. Yeah. Hey Bailey. Oh man, that was summer at every event that I've gone to where she's been there. It was so much fun because she plays up to it so well. But now that she's become,
I think now that she's face, she can just
she can enjoy
react to it the way she wants.
Yeah,
because you always see her, like, especially the event that we went to in Birmingham. She was a heel at the time. It was Damage Control, but she was laughing.
Yeah.
Like when the crowd started, you can see that she can't help but smile when they sing it for her.
Yeah.
And then she turns into sort of the heel persona and then starts like
shut
screwing them and
up!
telling them to shut up. Yeah.
Shut up! Yeah.
But she's saying it with a big smile on her face because she can't help but love it. The fact that she's made it.
Yep.
Which I suppose is any wrestler's like dream or any sports person's dream. If you get a crowd chanting for you.
Yeah.
And making up your own song like that, then
yes. Yeah, we did. We've managed to influence America with our football style stadium chants. They'll learn a thing or two one day. Don't worry. Yeah. So Bailey.
What next week on Raw? The referees are wanker chants come around.
But you know the funny thing is the refs are in on it. Like they all, you know, they're in on it. Like they don't actually listen to what we're saying. But yeah, Bailey, she won with her rose plant move, which is pretty similar to blunt force trauma, I might add. It looks great. It looks like a good move.
She needed something new because the Bailey to belly was not a good finishing move, I don't think.
No, it really wasn't. And the elbow drop from the top rope. If it was such a protected move, everyone would be doing it. And we've got so many people that do elbows from the top that don't.
It looked good back when she was her hugger phase, and she resembled the Ultimate Warrior. She had all the tassels coming off her, so the elbow was sort of homage to that sort of
era,
and it works. But now it's
it's
a great move.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moves, signature moves, is an elbow drop from the top rope. But yeah, she won with the rose plant. Bailey is now the WWE Women's Champion, and it'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
You need a heel to go against, so that's the thing. And I'm trying to think of who like good heels there are, and I can't think of many that aren't already in something.
I'm sure that we will see some call ups from NXT soon,
unless this is where Tiffy time. Get my Tiffy.
I've got a strong feeling that is what they're going to do, because those two seem to be perfect, because Tiffany Stratton is like the spoiled daddy's girl, whereas Bailey's like the role model, like the hardworking role model, and I think those two clashing would be really, really good. I think they can do some good stuff. Let's move on to the main event, because this is what everyone was looking forward to. So the main event of night 2, Roman Reigns, accompanied by his wise man Paul Heyman, was defending the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. But as we know, with night 1, with Cody and Seth losing, it turned this match into a Bloodline Rules match, which is fancy. Like I said at the start of the podcast, it's just fancy for no DQ.
No disqualification. Yeah. Which, before we get into what happened, the fact that you've said that, now, I know obviously we'll get into it at the end with what happened at the end, but the fact that this is a no disqualification match, why does Roman come down to the ring alone? It
would have been fine if we saw that backstage he was like telling Solo and Jimmy, stay here, don't come out there unless I'm in trouble. That would have been fine, because then you're like, right, that's why. Right. They're staying at the back until Roman is in trouble. Fine. Yeah. He wants to...
You had an entire main event the night before, which makes this a no disqualification match only for Roman to go, you know what, guys? Gonna go down there by myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna fight him 1-on-1. Yeah, because that's what you do. They both had amazing entrances. Cody's entrance. You okay? Just quickly, you said to me about the end game style thing, and when I saw the wasteland with its thing, and I saw the flags and the music that was playing, I was like, "Fuck!" He has actually completely called this. It is like Endgame, WWE Endgame. I was like, that feels so Last Chance. Like, it's really, really well done. The way that they set up the Titantron and everything, and then Cody comes out with his weird Skeletor skull thing that clearly doesn't fit properly.
Yeah.
His Freddy Fazbear style skull
And
thing.
then we get arguably pop of the night.
For Brandy Rhodes, yeah. She just, I love the way she's not, you can't see her all of a sudden. She's standing beside her man, and all she does is just put her hand on his shoulder. That's all she does. And everyone goes, yeah, like they're applauding, like they're enjoying it. He takes off the stupid helmet mask thing, gives it to her, although I think she was kind of like, okay, give it, okay, hand it to me now, hand it to me now, hand it to me now, and he's kind of fucking around with it. I don't know. Anyway, and then he makes his way down to the ring. It should be noted that he had some bruising around his torso because of the night before.
Yeah.
But he played up for the crowd. He was fantastic. And then our tribal chief was played to the ring by the Philadelphia Harmonic Orchestra. They played his music, and I was like, this is good. I was like, this is so nice. This is so like it's such a grand occasion. Like, it really made the main event
This is
feel
like
special.
JRPG. This is final boss levels.
Well,
all it needed was someone singing over that and Latin, and I'd be done.
yeah, well, yeah. Well, I mean, Rock has kind of nicked the whole fucking final boss thing, which it's not getting over with me. It's just not, because Roman Reigns is the final boss. He always has been that final character to be.
All The Rock needs to be is the boss. He literally owns the company.
Yeah, he's the boss. Yeah, but well, hey, whatever. They want something special for him. So okay, fine. But it's just not getting over with me. I'm not buying it. But yes, Roman comes down to the ring. He looks superb. And Samantha Irvin absolutely smashes it out of the park. Like, her announcing this whole evening has been, like, both evenings, sorry, has been incredible. Like, she has done everything to elevate everyone she's announced. And yeah, we get a really decent, proper back and forth match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Sides.
Yeah. There were times where you thought, could this be it? Could this be it? Could this be it? But then, of course, naturally, shenanigans begins, and I think that is actually where more of the excitement started to resonate with everyone in the arena. So, first, just after Cody Rhodes was gonna hit another crossroads onto Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso pops up and attacks Cody.
Spitting out orders like he's the tribal chief.
Yeah. I was a bit like, okay. So Jimmy gets involved, and as Roman and Jimmy are attacking Cody, Jay's music hits.
Oh, that rivalry's still ongoing then.
Well,
from a night previous to just now.
I don't know. Is it? I don't think so.
This is the worst return in this match. I say return. this is the worst save stroke return because
Yeah,
Jimmy
he
Jay does that
suicide.
thing.
Yeah, he kills
Well,
himself.
yeah, but no, it's not just that. But Jay does the thing that just makes no sense.
He leaves the
It's like
ring.
no, not that. It's
Oh,
like
oh,
you see that Jimmy's like in the ring, he's screaming at Roman, they're beating down Cody
yeah.
Rhodes. Jay's music hits, and instead of just coming to the ring to save, he comes out fucking dancing. Like he's doing his
Yeah,
entrance at the top of the ramp. It's like, no, just make the save. You don't
yeah.
come out and start like running to the left to
No,
go hide the
no,
crowd.
no. I think maybe I don't know what to think. I think he kind of just got a bit lost in the moment and yeah, did his little yeet thing. It was a bit strange. I was kind of like, where's he going? But yeah, he meets his brother Jimmy on the ramp. They have a super kick back and forth, and then Jay spears Jimmy off the ramp through a very conveniently set couple of tables
Had no
on the
reason being
floor.
there either.
Yeah, that had absolutely no reason to be there under a black sheet. So yeah, they went through a table, that which I thought was a great spot. And then you think, oh, good, well, good. Jay's taken out Jimmy. Roman and Cody continue their match. Not long after that, you get Solo
Get the repeat of
Sikoa.
last year.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Solo Sikoa, who I might add, this was the most interesting part for me, where it starts to look like things are really either going wrong or happening here. Solo Sikoa, he spikes Cody. Then he's shouting at Roman Reigns, who has taken another crossroads at this point, to get up and finish him. And he's shouting so much at Roman that Roman turns around and he's like, I know, because Solo's shouting so much. They do the combined spear and spike on Cody, which generally you'd be like, oh, that's it, that's it. Cody's done. He kicks out of the spear and spike twice. Kicks out twice.
And both times, Solo's stood in the corner facing the other way because he thinks it's done.
Yeah. He does the classic thing where he's facing away, he's counting the pinfall, and it gets to, and he's like, 3, there was no 3. And he just slowly turns round with this just incredulous look on his face, like, how is this happening? And then I think this probably got one of the biggest pops of the night, except for the one after this, which we'll come to shortly. But we got the return of everyone's favourite C Nation leader in John Cena. The music hit. You could hear people lose their fucking mind. He comes absolutely
bolt straight to the
flying.
ring.
Yeah, he broke the sound barrier, flying down to the ring. Takes out Solo Sikoa.
Still had to keep adjusting his hair though, so we couldn't see the bald spot.
Oh my god! I was gonna come to that. I was gonna come to that in a second. He plants an absolutely superb attitude adjustment onto Solo Sikoa through the Spanish announce table. It looked really good. That was it. Solo's now out of the match. And he did, like Orca explained, Cena kept sort of running his hands back through his hair because the poor guy, he's got male pattern baldness. He is developing a bald patch, and he's doing his very, very best to hide it. I get it. I mean, not that I know, I don't have that, but I get it that he's trying to hide it. I feel a bit sorry for him in a way, but at the same time, John, just let it go. Just, if it's going, man, just let it go. Just, have it shaved, have your head shaved like really short, or something. But but then we got further shenanigans because we think now John Cena's now taken out Solo. Is he then going to go for? Is he gonna get Reigns? But then The Rock's music hits, and John Cena does the best oh shit when he hears that. He sort of, because I think he's facing towards the camera, which is looking up the ramp, and he kind of like big wide eyes, and he sort of turns around really slowly. Rock comes down looking like, you know, a steroid abusing John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever. You know, he's got the sleeveless jacket going on. He's got the flared trousers, big white and gold suit, and he comes down. He's not in much of a hurry either.
No, he just saunters to the ring. He's like, he's frozen with fear. I can take my time.
Yeah, he has to stare down with Cena, but the problem is they're expecting people to be so like excited like they were for Hogan Rock when they did that thing where they looked the two different ways and then they tee off on each other. This was like they looked the two different ways, not much reaction, and then they switch, not much reaction. They should have just shit canned that, but they didn't. They kept going, and then yeah, Rock just hit Cena with a rock bottom, which with the camera angle clearly from the back was just like, look at Cena's bald patch. You know, he plants Cena with the rock bottom, and Cena's and the Rock does one of the best things I've seen him do in ages, where he points at Cena and he says, "Get the fuck out of my ring!" And he points up the ramp. I was like, that is fucking brilliant. And at this point, they are muting just everything the Rock is saying because they cannot take the risk of not catching those F-bombs like they missed on night one. So anytime the Rock speaks, he gets muted.
It's like a Vivo video. It's just
yeah,
and it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's like
is the stream buffering? What the hell?
I was gonna say it's like it's buffering really badly. Rock tells Cena to get the fuck out of his ring, and then my heart leapt into my throat and then dropped out of my asshole because we got Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, the Shield, and the music hit, and I was just in my element because at that point you could have said, yeah, Dean Ambrose is back. And I would have believed you 100%. Yeah. I'd have put money on it. I was like, oh. And
they never showed it either. They didn't show who was coming through the crowd.
Now I don't know what happened, but if you go back and watch it, there's no alternative camera angles yet. There's only one angle. And the one camera angle they're using on the live broadcast is a fairly close in shot of the back of the Rock talking to the referee, and the Rock is looking into the crowd on the hard cam side. So he's looking away from the camera, and he's got his Mama Rhodes belt in his hand, and he's looking at the crowd waiting for the Shield to come to the ring, because that's normally the thing they came to. The next thing you see is Roman pop up in the ring and hit someone with a spear. And
Superman punch
was it a Superman punch? I thought it was a spear.
Yeah, he Superman punches Seth as he's going to hit the chair.
So yeah, and then the camera angle quickly changes, and it's Seth Rollins in his Shield attire with his chair, and he was going to smack the Rock with the chair. But we didn't see anything except for Roman punches.
Making the save. Yeah.
So the whole thing was missed. And I was like, where's Dean? Where's Dean? There is no Dean Ambrose.
The longer it went on without showing the crowd, I was like, it can't be. He's signed to AEW. He's got he's a deal to like 2027. Yeah. And I was like, but have they? Do you know what? After this whole thing was over, I was like, they could have brought out Kurt Angle. He was an honorary Shield member for like a match. I was being silly about that, but they blew the whole Shield thing. Like because he got taken out before he could do anything. Because Seth got taken out.
that nothing really happened. Seth is now laying in the corner of the ring, looking pretty much unconscious, with the chair next to him. We'll come back to that momentarily. So Rock is like, you stupid motherfucker, you thought you were going to hit me with a chair? And he's about to go to town on Cody Rhodes. And then, where I thought we may have had the glass shattering, which I think might have
everyone would have wanted.
I think would have got a bigger pop. And I'm sorry I had to say this. We got the gong of the Undertaker. And I thought, okay, because I saw him at Hall of Fame. I was like, okay, I know Undertaker's here. So the gong goes off, but the lights don't go out straight away. And you think, okay, because now Rock is like, no, it's fuck. He's like, no way. Second gong, lights go out. There's a pause. Lights come back up. Undertaker is standing in the ring behind the Rock. Rock's looking up the ramp. Undertaker is there. Rock turns around. Undertaker is looking pissed off, like really annoyed, doing his thing. I think Rock goes to hit him, and Undertaker blocks it and he grabs him by the throat and chokeslams the Rock, which, to be fair, for Undertaker not being, in wrestling shape, pulls off a really good chokeslam for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He chokeslams Rock. And the gong hits again. Lights go out. When the lights come back on, everyone's gone. Everybody is out of the ring. It's Cody and Roman, and the weight belt, the Mama Rhodes weight belt is still there. Seth is not in the. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Sorry. Seth is still in the ring, right? He's wearing his Shield gear, and there's a chair. And Roman picks up the chair, and he looks at Cody Rhodes. Then he looks at Seth Rollins, who is pulling himself up the ropes. And I love how, when we say long-term storytelling, this has been waiting for
10 years. I think it is.
About 10. Yeah, I'd say, yeah. About 10.
I think it is 10 years. 10 years
about 10 years, almost to the day, where Seth Rollins was Plan B, and he betrayed the Shield, and he hit Roman Reigns in the back with the chair, and Roman you can see it. He kind of like, he looked at Cody and he looked at Seth, and it was just something in him just was like, no, I'm gonna take my revenge now, and he blasts Seth with a chair shot. And
Seth falls identical to how Roman fell.
Yeah, he falls into the ropes. And he just hangs there for a moment before dropping to the mat and then going to the outside. But not finishing the match gave Cody Rhodes the chance to counter the spear and hit 3 successive crossroads on the Tribal Chief to end his 1,316-day reign as Universal Champion. Cody Rhodes picks up the victory, finishes his story, and then many of the main roster guys that are faces came out and celebrated with Cody, and it was all very nice. And he got his family in the ring as well. It was all very nice.
Yeah.
And he got Bruce Pritchard and Triple H to come down as well.
Cuts the promo to get everyone down.
Yeah.
And John Cena makes sure that he sees the CM Punk's there, and he doesn't realise that it's his mum that taps him on the back.
I know. Sami Zayn's like turning him around. He's like, turn around, and he looks like above. He looks out above like his mind. He's like, oh hi. That was brilliant.
We have to say at that point, Samantha Irvin won everyone's hearts because she could not even announce the winner. She was that emotional.
She did, but she was crying. There's been
like, even the commentary team was sort of saying like, she's just emotional
Yeah.
at this point. She is an
Yeah.
emotional wreck. Like,
Yeah.
covering for her.
Yeah, bless her. You could hear it in her voice as well. Like but that's the wonderful thing about wrestling. It can do that to people. You know.
Yeah.
There is footage of her trying to announce it, and
Yeah.
you can see like she's doing her best, but she's like the emotion's high. But I was very pleased with the result. I thought it was a great match. The returns or the appearances from everybody was superb. You called almost all of it. You
The
called
only
almost all of
thing,
it.
the only thing is that I do wish it was Stone Cold instead of the
I wish it
Undertaker.
was Stone Cold. I think he would. I'm sorry. I love the Undertaker. Don't get me wrong, but I think the glass shattering. If he was the last one to come out and help, the to do the Rock, I think the glass shattering, and because the Rock would have been like he would have like shot up and then spun round and looked up the ramp, and Steve Austin comes fucking like down
Either
with
coming
his
down, like
yeah.
either storming down or even on his quad, just coming straight
He
down.
should
to
come
the ring,
down on the
whatever.
quad. Yeah. He should come down on his quad bike all the way down with a flag on the back and everything, and get off, duck a rock bottom attempt, big Stone Cold Stunner. I loved that the fact that they used the Undertaker. That was great. But let's be honest, as fans we remember Austin versus Rock more than we do
Yeah.
Rock versus Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know?
And we seen the Forbidden Door get kicked wide open as well. So they could have had Dean Ambrose back because they had Brody Lee Jr. in the ring celebrating with Cody Rhodes, and he's signed to AEW.
So there was also something. So so we've now come to the end of the WrestleMania podcast. We've come to the end of the broadcast. So as it goes off air, Cody Rhodes is hugging people, thanking everyone. Camera guys, the camera crew as well. He's thanking them. He goes and speaks with Nick Khan, who is one of the top owners of WWE and UFC. I think TKO. He's one of the top guys in TKO who now own these brands. And he was there, and he said something to Cody, and Cody said thank you and this, that, and the other. Nick Khan has gone on record to say that he would love to work with other promotions to make stuff happen. I think by the end of this year we may see plans for Forbidden Doors.
I still don't think it'll be AEW. I think that bridge between the
doesn't have
fans
to be.
and the things. I do think that's one that's going to be a bit of a way to go because they keep making jabs at each other, and I can't see them ever at the minute until the owners sort of like calm down and stop being as childish. And the same with the fan base because the majority of diehard fans just wouldn't accept that. But I could definitely see them doing something with Impact and with New Japan maybe or something like that.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We could. It depends. It depends partly on Tony Khan as well. It depends on him, if he wants to or not. But they could do some amazing stuff if they wanted.
Yeah. The two ones that really got me was obviously when his parents came into the ring or thing, because he did the whole thing where he points up to the sky, which is why I've got this background, because it's what he's seen. And then also the one with Michael Cole, because they've known each other for years.
Oh, yeah, that was
and
sweet.
that was sort of like Michael Cole was just crying. Basically, he couldn't.
He said that he's known him since he was 9 years old.
Yeah,
like that's a long fucking time.
Yeah,
and to watch someone's career pick up, falter a little bit. He goes away, reinvents himself, becomes this like superstar, comes back, elevates it even further into like a global icon in the industry, and now he's literally on top of the mountain. Like it's, if you'd have told me that Dashing Cody Rhodes was going to be this guy back then, I'd have told you to fuck off. He was fine.
Well, if I told you that Stardust was going to be that guy.
Well, this is it. I mean, no, but I enjoyed Cody Rhodes being like Cody Rhodes, but then when he became Stardust, I was like, oh, they fucking binned him. They've absolutely binned him here. And then he went away, and I was like, yeah, I don't fucking blame him. But then when
Yeah.
someone said, "Oh, he's like in AEW," I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then I look, I'm like, "That's Cody Rhodes!" Like, what the fuck? Blonde hair, the tattoos, the neck tattoo. I'm like, "Oh my god, okay, that is a very different Cody Rhodes." And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all for it. I'm
Then
all for it.
after the event, we had the thing that's come out in the post saying that when he went backstage, they had a gift for him, and it was
Oh yeah,
they bought Cody the
the same
watch that
watch. Yeah,
Dusty had pawned to get him through acting school to get him into wrestling,
yeah.
and they got him it back. Well, not that exact one, but
No,
the
they got a
make.
replica. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, which was really nice. That was
uh,
at the post-match press conference or
yeah.
post-event press conference.
But the all of this that we've just spoke about, this last like the final stand of the bloodline almost, because we don't know what's going to happen now with the bloodline. They still seem like they're going to be a thing because obviously the Rock came out on Raw this week, so it still seems like the bloodline's still going to be around. They've signed another Fatu to WWE. I can't remember which one. They've signed another member of the bloodline this week as well. So it seems like the Bloodline's going to get like Bloodline 2.0 almost. But anyway,
Right.
all of that we've just spoke about, like the fall of the Bloodline, or Bloodline as we know it at the minute, all these returns and all of that wasn't booked by Triple H. It wasn't booked by Cody Rhodes. It wasn't Roman and The Rock. The person that made that match last night was Bobby Roode. He's the one that he's done all of the writing for that match.
Right.
That's just absolutely mental to me.
No, because if you look at
He's so good.
if you look at all of the like everything he's done, like Beer Money, Glorious Bobby Roode, like the Glorious thing, I was so into that. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I loved Glorious Bobby Roode. It was my ringtone on my phone for ages. It's just glorious. I was like, that was wicked. So he knows what he's doing. But yeah, that was yeah that I yeah the fact that it was Bobby Roode that produced. I was like okay. I was like let's go, let's roll with this. Like they've got some great talent there,
Yeah.
honestly.
Between Jason Jordan and Bobby Roode, the new era, which
Yeah,
Cody beckoned in at the end. He even said it live right after the thing. The new era has begun. So it's safe hands with them pair if they're going to be booking all of the big main storylines.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. So are we gonna quickly roll on to Raw? We'll try and keep it short and sweet.
We can do. There was a few storylines progressed. There
Well,
wasn't really much else that happened.
well,
We'll go
I
through it.
watched the top 10 highlight because that's the only other problem at the moment until Netflix gets hold of Raw. We're still I'm unfortunately subject to not being able to watch it live. I have to watch highlights,
Yeah,
and so I don't get the whole show. I get snippets. So so it opens with Cody Rhodes and Triple H basically having like basically a further sort of passing of the torch, almost like Triple H introducing Cody Rhodes basically as the man who will lead them into the next era, the Paul Levesque era, which is fine by me. And he can, yeah. Apparently there was a really nice video package. I haven't watched it. I'm going to after this recording. But apparently it was really nice from what I gather. It was a really good. But yeah, Rock comes out and starts basically chatting shit. Apparently this whole segment was 45 minutes. Apparently.
yep,
That's crazy. The fact that Raw is 3 hours and they've used up already a massive chunk for this. Yeah.
yep.
But yeah. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know. That's way too long.
Yeah, that was yeah. It took a lot out of the match, and I know it's obviously they're trying to rest people, I guess, because it was quite a busy weekend and a busy schedule that they had. But for me, I think it killed almost a lot of the crowd because
Yeah.
normally the Raw after Mania is meant to be this like mental place, and it just didn't have that feel to it after this. It it went downhill. We did get call ups, we
Yep.
did get the odd like sort of like surprise, but there wasn't anything major that was like this is the Raw after Mania.
Mm.
It was just I don't know. I can't. We got the thing of the Rock handing um, something to Cody, saying "Don't you ever break my heart again," and then he ended it with "If you smell what the final boss is cooking," and then left
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But we did get some call ups from NXT, so we got Ilya Dragunov came up.
Yeah. He had a
Um,
squash match against Shinsuke Nakamura.
yeah, they've ran out of stuff for Shinsuke to do after having him look like the person that was going to dethrone Seth Rollins for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
He's back to the job squad.
I hate it so much.
Um,
But yeah, there's
we
nothing
had
more for him to do.
yeah, we had the comedy spot of the night was obviously Judgment Day celebrating their victories, and you get the image of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley holding up their belts. Then just a third belt comes into the middle, and it's R-Truth just in the middle of them all.
That was wonderful. That was actually wonderful. That was so great. I enjoyed that so much.
Which we then get to the one of the surprise, although it's not really a surprise return because he was there the night before. But John Cena gets his annual match to say that he's still wrestled every year for God knows how long now, 20 odd years, whatever it is,
Yep.
25 years, something like that. He's been in the ring
An
every
official
an
match.
official match every, and he did that in a 6-man tag where they hit the 15 knuckle shuffle.
Yep.
Where
So basically, Miz and R-Truth and Cena were doing it move for move for move, except for when Miz nearly dropped. He nearly dropped Fit.
Miz had Dom,
Oh
I think.
yeah. So Miz nearly dropped Dom onto Cena's head.
Yeah,
with a attitude.
I think Cena had JD
Priest.
and R-Truth had Priest. I think.
No, I think Priest was in the middle and R-Truth had Finn. I think. I'll have to go back and look.
No, Priest wasn't in it at all. Priest wasn't in the 6-man. It was JD McDonough, Dom, and Finn Balor.
Yep.
So then we have the second call up of the night. Roxanne Perez defeated Indy Hartwell.
Yeah.
I do like Roxanne Perez. I do miss the whole Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez tag team that was, but they should have let that go a bit longer, I think. But then again, Cora Jade is now injured and out for another year, I think, almost.
Just quickly, because I watched NXT before Stand and Deliver. Is Roxanne Perez a good guy or a bad guy? Like, what's her gimmick? Because she seems like a bad guy, but people are cheering her. So
it's weird. She's sort of both.
Okay, fine.
I think she's transitioning to being a heel at the minute because she's been good for so long that she finally snapped. But the fans still cheer her because it's babyface Roxanne Perez.
Okay, got it.
Like she's built almost like a Bailey 2.0 almost. She's like this small sort of over with the fans, happy-go-lucky girl, and now all of a sudden she's trying to become this heel. But the fans still love Roxanne Perez. So, but she's good. She's going to be a champion. She's still young. I think she's only like 23 or something like that. So, to get called up at that age to the big leagues is quite impressive.
Fine. Okay.
But yeah, it always feels weird because you always get these sort of like Indy Hartwell. I don't think is the right person to take the squash here. I know they've had chemistry in NXT because they've been against each other. But Indy Hartwell seems like she's meant to be getting built as this big baby face in the whole Candice LeRae indie thing that's going on.
Yeah.
And then just to have her absolutely flattened by Roxanne is just...
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. I mean, there was part of the thing where Candice LeRae did try and, heel turn Indy Hartwell, but yeah, she was like telling her to stop interfering.
Yeah.
So that was a bit, and then she lost, and then you can see Candice LeRae was like, "Look, this is what happens." So yeah, there's more to come from that.
Yeah. So then you've
the next
got
match.
Sami Zayn got interrupted by Imperium while he was trying to celebrate being the champion. So
Fuck's sake.
We've taken the belt off Gunter, but we've got nothing for him, so we'll put him back in a feud with Sami Zayn straight away.
Jesus
but then
Christ.
Gable came out to make the save, and they had a tag team match where they've now gone Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, which I thought when Name Redacted left we were going to get over this can they coexist, but it feels like we're getting a can they coexist when Chad Gable wants that belt.
It's going to be, when does Chad Gable turn heel and beat Zayn for the belt?
Yeah.
That's essentially
and
what this
it
is.
Shouldn't be turning him heel. He's so over.
No,
They
shouldn't. They should be capitalizing on how popular he is.
We then have Jade Cargill's first Raw match, I think.
Yep, that's right.
If I remember, because she's only had the Rumble and Mania so far. And she defeated Chelsea Green again.
Yep.
It's like, we need to make her look strong. Let's feed her Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, again, doesn't really feel like there's much of a point to this Raw after Mania. And then we get to the main event, which just... we get Drew McIntyre like cutting a good promo where he's angry as expected. We then get a fatal four-way match to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Champion, which is what Damian Priest won.
Yeah.
And when you say some of the names that you've mentioned in the past hour or so, probably close to 2 hours now that we've been recording, that you've got like LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of people. Gunter now that he's not in the thing.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
But this match had Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, then Ricochet and Bronson Reed.
I'm sorry, I love Ricochet because I understand how fucking talented this guy is. But what the fuck? Which of these does not belong? Bronson Reed, as cool as much as I like Bronson Reed, he does not belong here yet. He's not in this. He's not here yet.
He needs to have a good run with the mid-card belt so
Yes.
people know what Bronson Reed's about.
Yes, and Ricochet has been so win loss. Like there's nothing consistent here with Ricochet. Unfortunately, why is he? There is absolutely no reason for either of those two to be in this match.
Yeah. But we get to the end and it's Jey Uso. Main event Jey lives up to his name and actually wins a main event for the first time in several years. And gets to become the number one contender after CM Punk once again cost McIntyre before doing the whole yeet thing on the commentary desk. He joined in with Jey Uso doing the yeet bounce.
It works. People are down with it. It's the whole yeet thing. It's taken. They threw it at the wall and it stuck. Go with it.
But yeah, so it definitely looks like we're going to get Drew CM Punk, and it looks like WWE are saying that doesn't need to be for the belt. The problem I've got now is that if we had this where like for ages Drew's been doing stuff online, taunting CM Punk.
Yeah.
We then finally get to a match and Punk wins. That's fair enough. But now every week Punk's making Drew lose matches, so like it's just going to be a predictable thing. We get to the match, oh well, Punk's already beat him like several times. Punk's going to win here. It's for nothing.
Yeah.
Like Drew should be getting made to look strong in some of these, and maybe it's just bitterness from thinking that he should have had the belt, but it makes no sense.
I think that we're going to get Drew winning the title at Clash in the Castle, Glasgow, in front of a home crowd. He gets the win. The United Kingdom explodes. And Drew McIntyre will be our new Prime Minister, and we will be led into a new era of prosperity. I genuinely think we're probably building to that. It would be absolutely obscene for them to not. I mean, it's not like, okay, with all due respect to Damian Priest, he's not Roman Reigns.
No.
So it wouldn't be completely unfeasible for after. I think, okay, right. Priest could hold it for a while. Drew McIntyre wins at Glasgow, Clash in the Castle, Glasgow. Gets the reaction, gets to celebrate with his in his home country and his family and everyone properly. Doesn't get cashed in on in 6 minutes. Then begins the build for Punk, the summer of Punk to SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's one of them where I don't know what happens first. I can honestly see like Drew winning it, Clash in the Castle, then whoever gets the Money in the Bank. 'Cause I think that's before Clash in the Castle. Just plays again, and everyone's like, "For fuck, don't you dare!" Don't you? I'm not saying they will cash in, but to me, yeah, this makes no sense. And the thing that is, it's not their fault, but it feels like we've just gone from 3 years of what's been by far, well, 4 years, I think now, 4 years of the best storytelling. And that's the 4 years of the best storytelling in terms of the bloodline running the show, and that is one faction that is just absolutely plowing through everyone and getting win after win. And it's always been a similar outlook of bloodline matches where Roman Reigns has a good match, starts to get beat down, and then Solo makes the save, Jimmy makes the save at a time, Jay and Sammy make the save, and everyone was like, okay, this faction's working. We've got a faction that's like carrying the brand at the minute, and Roman's being dominant in it. And then you've gone from that to now giving Damian Priest a belt in which you're going to get the exact same, but the Judgment Day are no bloodline. I feel like we're going to get the exact same matches. If Damian Priest has a match, is about to be beat, out comes JD McDonough, out comes Balor, out comes Dom.
Yeah.
Protects Damian Priest, and they're going to try and redo that. And it's like, you've just told the best story you've had in over 4 years of the bloodline. You cannot then just go and give it to another faction and expect them to do the same.
No. And they're not the same. They don't have the same dynamic.
No.
They don't have the same dynamic, which is what makes each faction different. It's what makes them have their own attractive properties over others.
But it's just, I do feel like we're going to get the exact same matches now that we had with Roman, just with Damian Priest sucking because they've gone. It's worked in the past, and I hope we don't. I do hope that we get, and I don't know how long Damian's going to hold the belt. I don't want him to be a transitional champion because then it sort of again degrades the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but it's not until after June. I actually don't know when the Clash at the Castle, Glasgow is. Do we know when?
It has got a date on it because I'm pretty sure Alba Fire tweeted it out, or
I'll tell you in
Isla Dawn.
Uno Momento.
One of them.
Saturday, the 15th of June. Don't miss out, folks.
Which can't be too far until SummerSlam then.
SummerSlam will be in August. SummerSlam. Don't you just love this? This checking on the fly. So SummerSlam this year will be August the 3rd, 2024. And Logan Paul is already on the poster because it's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a few that are out there so far. Because you've also got Bash in Berlin in August 31st. Money in the Bank is July 6th. So when did you said that the end of July, or is it June? Sorry, did you say Clash in the Castle was?
June.
I already forgot.
15th of June. So Clash in the Castle happens before Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so you're not going to get the Money in the Bank briefcase come out again and just cash in on Drew, which will be good.
That's
lovely.
Hopefully
that works then. Hopefully that works.
I'm telling you, if he's so cruel of them not to do it, to hold a big event in his home city, city as well, and to have him not win in front of the home. Like, that could be the caveat for fucking him over at Mania. Like, they could be like, look, this is what we're going to do at Mania, but it's for this. And he's probably like, yeah, fuck it, do it.
Yeah.
Because he understands the business.
The other thing, before we wrap up, because we've been going on for a while, the other thing we got last night on Monday on Raw, was a teaser for the return of Sheamus. The Celtic Warriors coming back. Which I hope they can... I just want him to get... Maybe he's the one that dethrones Sammy. I want him to become a Grand Slam champion. He deserves it.
I imagine.
If he just absolutely kicks Sammy's head off in front of a rowdy crowd in Glasgow.
Oh, that would be fucking
absolutely
awesome.
punts his skull into the middle of like the cheap seats.
Right where we're sitting. Did you also notice the Uncle Howdy thing that people have been suggesting?
Yeah, it was before Raw actually went on the air, so it was actually an exclusive to those that bought tickets. It started playing, I can't remember what the song is, but it was playing a song which was very creepy.
Someone just listed it as ominous music.
No, it did have a name. I know Cultaholic said what it was. There was a track that got brought up, and they played this song through the tannoy, and then it went off, and no one knew what happened or what was going on. People started linking it, obviously, to the White Rabbit, but then later on, Bronson Reed's cut on a promo. Yeah, Bronson Reed's cut on a promo backstage, and you get the whole static flickering. But then in the bottom corner, in all lowercase, it just said hello.
Yeah.
Which would be good. I think if they do it right, Bray's legacy lives on in Bo Dallas, and he comes back either as Bo or as Uncle Howdy.
I don't want it to be Uncle Howdy. I don't. If it's an alter ego, fine. If they build it correctly, like the Fiend, fine. But please, for the love of God, let it be Bo as well.
I'd like to see Eric Rowan come back from. And even Braun Strowman, if he brought back the sort of cult side, he needs the spookiness of Bray to carry on Bray's legacy.
Yes,
and Bray obviously had Uncle Howdy with him.
Yeah,
and Alexa Bliss at a time. And if Alexa Bliss wants to come back, it depends if she wants to come back as her former self, or whether she wants to come back as the spooky with I can't remember what the doll was called. Lily, was it?
Fuck, I can't
remember what the doll was called. So it depends which type of Alexa Bliss comes back as well, because she's had her baby, I think, now. And so she probably wants to spend some time, obviously, with the newborn. But then I think she's probably going to be due to return soon. Yeah. If she does want to come back at all, that is.
This is true.
But yeah, so I would like Bo Dallas to come back with people to help him. I'm not saying he needs it, but it would be nice to get, if it is to honour Bray Wyatt, bring back Eric Rowan with him, and maybe even put Braun Strowman back in there as like the big muscle. Because Eric Rowan's got muscles, but I mean,
I know what you mean. Yeah, the monster among men. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We can always hope. Anyway, let's wrap it up there because we've been talking for a very long time with an ever so slight interruption. Due to technical difficulties, but that is the entirety of WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania XL, and the Raw after WrestleMania, which was fine, but it definitely wasn't as exciting as some have been in the past. But we got a glimpse into what the future holds. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us for this long. We know it's been a bit of a lengthy one, but you know, with such a big event to cover, we decided we wanted to really go over everything with a lot of energy. So we've got that far, and we're going to be coming to you live. Well, I'll be coming live from the Isle of Man almost. It will be the day after we land, I think, almost.
No, you will land on Friday, so yeah, you land on Friday, so it'll be the week after.
Yeah. All right. Well, get ready for a slightly different version of the podcast from next week. So yeah, until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.